Caitlyn Clark definitely being the biggest driver. No questions asked. We're in Indianapolis. Like, what she does, she sells out more than, like, yes. Morgan Wallen, Taylor Swift. There's a couple people that sell out everywhere, okay? Caitlyn Clark sells out everywhere. I mean, she is a bona fide superstar. Obviously, a lot of eyes. She was also a kicker in high school. Okay, for the brand. Obviously, the kicker is the biggest badass on the court. I love it.
This is not just a story about a basketball game. This is not just about a foul, a ban, or one viral moment caught on camera. This is about a storm building inside the WNBA, a perfect storm of fame, frustration, and fury at the eye of it all. Caitlyn Clark, the most talked about athlete in women's basketball.
I just want to say that Marina Mabre is a bum, and I own her. She shoved me like that was going to change the score. She was out there putting up Angel Reese stats with her 6 points and 8 rebounds. She needs to relax. They tried to gang up on me with 3 players because I cooked their whole squad, and I had to let their bench know after I hit that 3-pointer to shut their asses up.
And the one the league seems least prepared to protect in this episode, we're not just going to tell you what happened. We're going to walk you through every twist, every betrayal, every calculated silence, and every fan eruption that's threatening to tear the WNBA apart.
Got destroyed. Her girl Sophie came to her defense, and this was the most beast mode thing that I've seen a woman do in WNBA history.
Because Caitlyn Clark didn't just explode on the court. She ignited a rebellion off it started with a hit, not just any hit, a statement. Late in a high-intensity matchup, Indiana Fever's Sophie Cunningham delivered a hard foul on JC Sheldon, the kind that makes the crowd gasp, the kind that says, "Touch my teammate again and you'll feel it." And why did she do it? Because Caitlyn Clark had just been shoved again, poked in the eye again, dropped to the floor with no whistle again. This wasn't a one-off, this was the latest in a growing string of incidents where Clark, the face of the WNBA's future, was being physically targeted with almost no consequence. But here's where it really caught fire. The WNBA didn't just call a flagrant on Sophie, they banned her suspension.
Was running down the court for a fast break layup. Sophie Cunningham grabs her and hard fouls her. I think this was Sophie. This was the last 46 seconds of the game. They were up by a lot. So I think it's a possibility that Sophie was trying to send a message to the league, to the officiating, to everybody that, listen, like, Indiana Fever have had enough. And this is what
suspended, ejected out, no review, no warning, no explanation. And that right there is where the league crossed a line they may not be able to walk back from. The fans didn't stay silent, they revolted. Social media exploded with hashtags like hashtag boycott WNBA, hashtag protect Clark, and hashtag bring back Sophie. Thousands called out league leadership, and the message was as clear as it was loud. If you punish the only player standing up for Caitlyn Clark, you're not just failing her, you're failing us. What the WNBA didn't understand is that Caitlyn Clark isn't just a rookie anymore, she's a movement, she's a $1 million brand, she's the reason tickets sell out in 10 minutes and why national viewership has tripled. She is the singular force keeping women's basketball in the headlines week after week, and yet she's being treated like a problem game after game. Clark has taken elbows to the face, body checks at midcourt, flagrant shoves with barely a whistle. It's as if the referees are blind, or worse, like they've been instructed to stay that way. Hey, maybe the refs were just checking their phones. Maybe they were too busy calculating their Angel Reese all-star ballots to see the league's biggest star being assaulted in plain sight, because that's the other storm brewing. The Reese versus Clark media machine for months headlines pushed the narrative. Angel Reese, the face of the WNBA, the savior, the reason people care. But when all-star voting dropped, Clark had over 515,000 fan votes, triple what Reese pulled. The fans made it loud. We're not here for media darlings, we're here for players who show up night after night and dominate. And Caitlyn Clark, she's doing just that. Let's talk about Sophie. This wasn't just a random player on the bench, this was a black belt in Taekwondo, a multi-sport athlete, a leader, and and most importantly, the one teammate who consistently stepped in when the rest of the league turned its back on Caitlyn Clark. Sophie wasn't just defending Clark, she was defending the future of the league. The idea that skill should be protected, not punished, but the WNBA didn't see it that way. They saw her as a problem, and so they silenced her big mistake. The ejection sent shockwaves through the fan base. Thousands vowed to boycott. Advertisers started backing away. Even Clark's own camp, usually quiet, began leaking she's considering overseas offers, sitting out, walking away entirely. Because let's be clear, if Caitlyn Clark leaves, the league collapses. Great, let's continue the script directly and seamlessly. We left off at the end of Act 3 with the Sophie Cunningham fallout and Clark's rumored exit. Now we move into the deep unraveling of the WNBA's credibility and the looming crisis caused by the disconnect between fans, media hype, and leadership in the league. What happens when fans stop believing what they're being told, when the highlights don't match the headlines, when PR campaigns promote players the fans don't vote for? That's what just happened in the WNBA. For months, sports outlets, corporate sponsors, and even Forbes tried to sell Angel Reese as the face of the league. Articles praised her impact, her energy, her grit. They gave her cover spreads, endorsements, panel invites. They even ran stories suggesting Reese and Aja Wilson were the two primary reasons the WNBA was surging. You know who wasn't mentioned in those pitches? No mention of the player whose jersey outsold every athlete in any sport. No mention of the rookie who tripled national ratings. No mention of the woman who made the Fever the team with the league's worst record last season, a top box office draw. This wasn't just an oversight. This was erasure, and fans noticed because you can buy ad space, you can flood TikTok with sound bites, but what you can't buy is credibility. And in sports, credibility lives on the scoreboard. And Caitlyn Clark, she's winning. Angel Reese, not so much. Let's put this in real terms. Angel Reese ranks 13th in all-star voting. Her field goal percentage, a dismal 309%. She leads the league and rebounds, sure, but most of those are what fans now mockingly call mebounds. Rebounds off her own missed shots, stat padding at its finest. It's like she's playing one-on-one with the backboard and losing her team. The Chicago Sky sitting near the bottom of the standings. Her assists low, her turnovers high, her impact minimal, and yet the WNBA wants us to believe she's the face of women's basketball. Reporter, do you still believe you're the reason people are watching women's basketball? Angel Reese, next question. That silence said everything. The myth had cracked, the hype bubble had burst, and Caitlyn Clark, she didn't have to say a word. Her game did all the talking. 515 all-star votes worth of talking. So what's really going on? Why is the league punishing the one player defending Clark? Why are refs ignoring constant fouls? Why is the league trying to rewrite the narrative? It's about control. The WNBA has never had a star like Caitlyn Clark. Not just talented, magnetic, not just skilled, transcendent. She's a once-in-a-generation lightning rod, but lightning by its nature is unpredictable and powerful. You either build infrastructure to support that electricity or you risk getting burned. Leadership had to choices: embrace Clark's impact and protect her, or cling to their old model, their old stars, their old structure. They chose the latter, and in doing so they may have set the league on fire. The revolt wasn't subtle. When Clark missed a game, ratings dropped by 55%. Let that sink in. More than half the audience disappeared because fans weren't watching for the league, they were watching for her. They weren't tuning in for slogans, they were watching for step back threes, floor leadership, laser passing, fourth quarter magic. And when the league suspended the only player protecting that magic, fans didn't just boo, they boycotted, they unfollowed, they canceled league pass subscriptions, they wrote open letters to sponsors, they made it known. This league is walking a tightrope over a canyon of collapse, and the one thing keeping it balanced. Now comes the part that scares the WNBA the most. Caitlyn Clark has options. European teams are circling, billionaire investors are calling, brands are waiting with open checkbooks for her to walk away from the drama and step into a cleaner spotlight. And can you blame her? She's been assaulted on court, ignored by refs, erased by the media, and abandoned by leadership. She's had to rely on teammates like Sophie, only to watch them be punished. So what happens if she leaves? It's not a hypothetical, it's an extinction level event. The WNBA without Clark is an empty building with a faded logo. The noise stops, the energy dies, the headlines disappear. She is not just a player, she is the league's heartbeat. And right now, that heartbeat is getting quieter. The Caitlyn Clark era was supposed to be the WNBA's breakthrough, the moment when women's basketball finally left the shadows and stepped into the spotlight for good. But instead of protecting that light, the league has repeatedly tried to dim it, and now it faces a future darker than anyone expected. Sponsors are holding back, fans are speaking louder than ever, and players, the ones who are supposed to be teammates, sisters united, are split, divided by bitterness, envy, and unchecked aggression. If Caitlyn walks, the message will echo far beyond the league, because this isn't just about Caitlyn, this is about the next Clark, the next generational talent watching from college or high school or some AAU tournament, thinking, if I get to that level, will they protect me or punish me? The WNBA had the gift of a lifetime. Instead of honoring it, they've tried to box it and monetize it and control it, while refusing to lift a finger when that gift was attacked. The Sophie Cunningham ban wasn't just a decision, it was a warning shot, and fans heard it loud and clear. Protect this league at all costs, unless the star you're protecting threatens the old way of doing things. Now the WNBA stands at a crossroads. Continue to punish defenders like Sophie, continue to turn a blind eye to targeted aggression, continue to chase a marketing narrative that fans aren't buying, or evolve, embrace the player who brought millions to the sport, support the teammate who dared to protect her, and listen, truly listen to the fans who are holding this league together.
When you are good at basketball, you're pretty, and you got grit, those three things make you bad to the bone. And I think this is one of the new trends that's going on in the WNBA, in my personal opinion, is that not only will you be good at basketball, but you also, some of these women don't look like women, right? They used to look like dudes. But now they look like beautiful women that are playing basketball. And one thing I like about Sophie is that she's tough.
With their passion, their dollars, and their belief in what women's basketball can become. But if leadership doesn't act, if Kathy Engelbert and the WNBA powers that be don't wake up soon, this league may go down in history, not for its rise, but for the spectacular way it blew its one chance to change everything we are witnessing. History, not just a player, not just a game. This is bigger than basketball. This is about how institutions treat their brightest stars, about what happens when power ignores its purpose, and about the fans who won't sit quietly anymore. If you believe that talent deserves protection, if you believe that greatness should be nurtured, not silenced, if you believe that the league needs to change before it's too late, then let your voice be heard in the comments, in the arenas, on social media, because when one star carries the weight of a league, it's not just her future on the line, it's all of ours. Drop your thoughts below, like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss the next chapter in this unfolding drama, because something tells us this is only the beginning.